From the dusty street of Ikasi to the dusty fields of Selokshini, busy after the Skumba. I'm talking your off-season tournaments of Sekasi, from Tembisa to Alexander, Springs to Davidton, Katlehong to Foslo, DK to Mdeni, you name them. With Louis Pencil, Escatulo, Mushishili on the spy too, Sizpete Zonke, Ubumnandi Betiskila Sepukun.
Go tswa ka pego ya bophirima ka gara mpa gauteng ke bolela ka maga ke sa bolela ka mana wa ka thamena cheko sekwama sa mantariana the gushi bag dribbling wizard ke mošia jwang ka mane ke na blue tick ma 11 1-1 go na le el professori phasa ka njane o tunosile prof Monga
Excel, Monga. I'm not a coach, but I'm the only guy who gets to decide to go to bar and not let benchi. Vandaag, Ivory Park, mid-range 1685, but it's extension 2. But Watita Bafazi, Watiti Bogoto, Vandaag, I'm going to Chizgal. We're going to go see a port. So when I blow my out from a corner, as we get to chill, I'll see a benchi. Sam. Excel, like ngintshelile ke ukuthi vandag ngiphethe imbokodo ediskini bathu Chizgal ukuthi lisuka phi na kanjani yena uzongichazela so house Mampa with respect Chizgal sicale la bathi yenza so welcome to Sebentini No Monga. Tell us about yourself utswa kayi ubelekhlwe kayi and wena ibhola likushele kuphi waliqoba kuphi and just give us your background in football.
Alrighty, igama njengobushilo uMampa wakaTlhwaela.
Sure.
Ngizalelwe Tembisa Mfyane, that is Okamwe district.
Sure.
That is the street that made me.
Sure.
And ukukhula kwami ngikhule ngumuntu vele ukuthi khula eJackson ngithola abafana.
Sure.
Abaningi babo bengalithanda ibhola kodwa ekuyeni kwesikhathi kwaba
Sure.
into ukuthi mangihambe strategy
Yeah.
So yeah, I participated in almost every sport.
Sure.
Be it netball, be it athletics, but I fell in love with soccer at the age of around 6-7, just like most girls who have played soccer. Don't tell you that is the
Babona lapha nje
Yeah.
babedlala amanye amathini ugijimisa ibhola
Exactly.
babedlala umgujisa ebholeni sure
Yeah.
sure
So I fell in love with the game around that age.
Yeah.
Shela that time.
Sure.
Love at first sight.
Okay.
That time.
Yeah.
No, I didn't waste time.
Sure.
So it was like I'll push up from there. Played with the likes of Coach Tebo Nombade. Napinda in picnic ground.
Yeah.
Before Bakama RTP.
Yeah.
So that is the ground that we used to have ama
Yeah.
games, and that is the field that I'd say it has made me.
Sure.
So Coach Mbade, Coach Tepo, we call him Ukao.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
we then played for Eastern Brothers.
Sure.
From then, school in Mdiopo.
Yeah.
My friend Kolob.
Sure.
I don't know if a lot of people know Kolob.
Wow. Now I was thinking along the lines of Fortune Koloma or
Umdana
oh yeah so I was not far off yeah, but
Yeah,
sure
not far.
sure
So we went to one of the teachers in sports school in
Sure.
primary and
Yeah.
asked him to soccer mantombazane.
sure
I was like, look, it's either you join the boys or you go play cricket or netball.
Yeah,
Those
so
are
you
the
had those
sports.
three options, yeah.
Yeah, so
Sure.
that's when me and I decided, you know what,
Nabafana. Yeah. Sure.
So I think equally that's where
It's all developed and all of that.
Yeah.
Sure. So growing up, especially as a girl, it's either you need to be very passionate about football, and or either you must be very good. You know? So as you grow older, high school, I want you to give us a picture, which is at what point did you maybe develop to be a complete player? Maybe levels that you played, would you come and play at this level and whatnot? But at what point did you then develop to becoming a team player?
I think while playing for Eastern Brothers, because azange bangitreat njengentombazane.
Sure.
That's one thing
Babekhahlela,
yeah, no, bakhahlela.
Sure.
You have to stand up, dust yourself, and continue the game.
Yeah.
So from primary, I went to Tlhwaela.
Sure.
Played with the boys there as well,
Yeah.
but then the girls team was developed along the way.
Yeah.
And then in terms of ranks, after Eastern Brothers,
Yeah.
then I went to play for Imaichi Lamas, which
Sure.
was one of the teams as a Mantomazane would participate and it would give a competition
Yeah.
in women's football.
Yeah.
At the time, I think we had Telkom and Isaso with like I think Isaso came first.
Yeah.
No, it's Sanlam actually.
Oh, yeah, Sanlam. Yeah, yeah,
Sanlam,
yeah.
when Sanlam
Yeah.
sponsored.
Yeah.
So that's when Ilona, Uthandule football started.
Yeah.
In those eras, the Sanlam, that's when one got the opportunity to now start trialing for your Banyana camps,
Yeah.
your provincial, and at the time the beauty is that there were games that were Wednesdays.
Yeah. Yeah.
We called that day Sports Day.
On a Wednesday.
Yes,
Yeah.
at least those were the times where one would be exposed to a lot of scouting. Not
Oh,
even
yeah.
scouting per se, but to be recognized
Yeah.
as a football player.
Sure.
So I remember in 2002,
Yeah.
I went and represented Gauteng Buma USA Games,
Yeah.
and then went and represented ASA Mozambique,
Yeah.
2006.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, fast forward. You need to draw a picture also for the guys at home to say, as much as Chizgal, you want to know where the name comes from, and two, when you played, you said you played regionally, even when as far as Mozambique. Maybe the players that you've played with that have made it professional, or the level in terms of competition and whatnot.
Chizgal.
Yeah, come on.
I used to admire older countries boys so bad. Like Ole Falamang was just an amazing player, and at the time I was playing a right wing on myself.
Yeah.
So just number 23, I wanted it so
Oh,
bad.
okay.
And a motor bear. I'm a number player with 15, 16.
Sure. 23 again.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
So that's where the name came from.
Sure.
And like I say, I played for Imatilavas SE first women club that I played for, and then I graduated to one of South Africa's best team that has ever been, which is Padley Super Falcons. Provincial champs for a very long time, national champs for a very long time. So in that space, so I had the opportunity of playing with one of South Africa, or not one, some of the best players of Tanzania. I had the opportunity to play with Pusha Mudise, Mamelo Makaba, who happens to be a very good friend of mine. Abu in the same team, people that have taken women's football to another level. Even though when it comes to recognition or even support, it's not much, but having to learn from those people and having to even be in the same space as them, it has been a very great experience thus far.
Now talking about passion, women in general, they're quite good. Vis-a-vis Bafana, I mean, they've done well. Now, what were the challenges that you had back then, and just generally, the challenges that women face in football?
Apart from Orella, the biggest I would say is sponsorship.
Sure.
And sponsorship, not firstly really, but in teams zone. Because people that take that first step to say, I want to be a coach or I want to be a team manager, they then have to dig deep from their own pockets or whoever that they associated with, and it takes a lot for one to run a team. So that was our first challenge. Then secondly, it'll obviously be Ilona in league sponsorship or umbrella that will cover women in terms of ensuring that, because we have to be fair, women are doing very great.
Very good.
And if the nation would like to take women's football seriously, they have to give them the equal opportunities.
Sure.
You can't be a professional soccer player as a woman. And then you wake up, you have to go to work. Then from work, you have to go to training. And you're a woman.
So when you say work, you mean like you're 9 to 5?
You're 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You go to work. You have to rush and go to training. From training, you have to make sure you have to ensure that house chores are well done.
And we regard you as a professional, professional footballer.
Then when it comes to everything else that needs to motivate you as a player, which is of course being paid to play football, just like a guy who wakes up at 10 o'clock to go to training, come back and just relax the whole day, where you're not even being incentivized unless the team has great structural support from behind that they incentivize our players, which I feel it's something that needs to be looked at. And right now with Ilona, with this great and big initiative, which is the National Women's League, there are young aspiring players that right now would like to have that opportunity to represent Banyana or to even represent Exactly.
Yeah.
So that they need to be motivated.
Sure.
Because now, and I'm not saying Guti, they're not equipping themselves with academics.
Yeah.
But with women's football,
Yeah.
if you can check, the highest percentage, if I can say maybe 90,
Yeah.
they are equipping themselves with education,
Sure.
taking up university, les amabazari
Oh,
where
yeah.
you play for
Yeah.
university
Sure.
and then they sponsor you.
Sure, sure.
Yes. So I think it will be fair if women's football can be taken seriously.
Sure. Sure.
And be supported, be given that equal opportunity just like they do with
Sure,
men.
sure. I know personally the issues that women face, especially national team, you know? And you've been privileged, like now you're friends with some of the guys that have played in national team. And the good thing about now that we've seen in recent times, most of the guys are going overseas to play there, and not just to add number, very competitive with banging goals and whatnot. Just give us a picture, Mampa. I know Portia has been vocal about this, but some of the issues that they face, especially in national team, are issues like
That is very controversial, and in most of our conversations, I think abaningi bakhala probably squad selection, because
Sure.
in the recent was it the World Cup where Nyanin was left out?
Yeah.
It's those kind of things that
Yeah.
I think they are very vocal about.
Yeah.
But if bona bahleli babodwa,
Yeah.
then because they know of the insights, that's when they talk of deeper things. But
Yeah.
when it comes to the outside world that talking to us, it'll be that bakhala squad selection,
Selection,
what
yeah.
they could have taken, of which nathi masingaphandle, I
Yes,
mean, you
who's
know,
good to-
ukuthi
Ubani,
uhlala
yeah,
kanjani,
yeah,
umuntu
sure,
kanje, because
sure.
you know ukuthi that person can produce or
Yeah.
can contribute to a lot of Ilona. And apart from that as well, ne squad Ilona, first 11.
Yeah.
There are certain games where as a coach you can see ukuthi this team requires both ukhatlana and umlawuzi.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
see ukuthi
yeah.
their pace could, mesmerize. More so
Yeah.
we higher stages as in Jengama World Cup where
Yeah.
you have in China, you have in Japan.
USA.
Yeah. So
Nah.
I think those are the challenges that I can boldly
You can highlight,
talk
yeah,
about.
yeah. Now, asithathe on a national stage, sithathe mhlambe siyise kasi. Now, I know personally very involved in this class of Bitcoin, I could say here at home.
Yes.
I want you, maybe as a woman, just appeal to both genders to say the importance of maybe ukudlala lama tournaments now, and also the people that have seen being scouted from these tournaments, and then they made it to the top leagues.
My experience has been great, and these are the initiatives I think I enjoy
Sure.
very, very much.
Sure.
I can wake up at any hour of the night
Sure.
just to be part of it. The importance is very high,
Sure.
considering the fact of when it comes to development,
Sure.
our development structures has hit
Yeah,
downhill.
sure.
So these are one of the results or avenues that we have taken to say, let us allow these young boys to showcase. That's
Yeah.
why I mean, if you can highlight or see
Yeah.
in most of the tournaments, mangi part of it, I try so much to see involve a lot of professional players,
Yeah.
simply because they have had the opportunity.
Sure.
So let us give our youngsters or people who had never recognized that
Yeah.
opportunity to be
Yeah.
exposed to this world.
Sure.
And if you add, a team can add one or two just for that boost.
Sure.
Because booster a player to say I played with a certain player in
Yeah.
the same team.
Sure,
So you
sure, it
understand.
says a lot, yeah.
It means very, very, very much to them.
Sure.
And also being part of one of the emerging scouting company.
Sure.
They go to Mampa.
Sure.
Most of the players that are playing
Babathole
abroad,
Potweni.
Babathole Potweni,
Yeah.
they are unknown names.
Yeah.
La ekasi, but they
But
are
are Diamond,
yes,
bawathatha, bawapolishe.
bayapolisha,
Yeah.
bayoyisa ngaphandle.
Sure,
So
sure.
that is one of the motivation
Yeah.
that pushes me to say, let me go and do something ekasi.
Sure, sure.
Because football, I think, much as I could have loved to make it far,
Sure.
but let me give back.
Yeah, sure.
It's giving back right now.
Talking about giving back, football is very big. You can be involved in different spaces and whatnot. I know you're actively involved in putting together them satellite games. Just generally, if someone is sitting at home, is passionate as you about football, but know they've played or they don't know how to play football, but they're passionate about football. They want to put together more tournaments. If you come in and highlight to say, hey, put together a tournament. 1, 2, 3, these are the challenges. 1, 2, 3, these are the things that you need to look for. Just generally, what are the general challenges that we have? If you say putting together a tournament, could be sponsorship, could be municipality, any issue. Just highlight it for us.
That is one, sponsorship. It's very hard to get a sponsorship.
Sure.
And for you to organize a tournament of a great impact,
Sure.
of a magnitude,
Sure.
or even the
Sure,
just started.
Yeah.
You need to have a plan.
Sure.
And it doesn't necessarily, you don't wake up today with team from going to tournament because it's a process.
Yeah.
So the challenges you'll have, ekasi unama ground fee.
Sure.
So ulama ground, there are plenty of people that uses those
Sure,
fields. So
sure.
there's going to be squabbles when it comes to ensuring that you're going to use those fields at the same time.
Yeah.
So you need to put that into consideration as
Sure.
well. And again, mawenzi tournament ekasi,
Yeah.
you have to also be firm.
Sure.
Because ama-team angavela manje umuntu nje afuna ujoin tournament yakho ngoba uyakwazi ukumonga, so
Sure.
avela landa avuthe abakubo,
Yeah.
then they want to affiliate. So
Sure.
for you to also have a reputable tournament, you have to also find a ground to
Yeah.
say, I'm not going
It's
to
my
be
standing
recruited.
point.
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't have to be
Helela
recruited
la.
by
Yeah.
abantu.
Sure.
So there are a lot of things involved. You have to also involve the municipality. You have to
Yeah.
involve the mayor or whoever that is, or the area.
The area representative,
Yes, you
yeah.
have to involve amapoisa.
Yeah.
You have to also ensure what's your sports and recreation. They is aware of the tournament.
tournament that you're
Yes.
hosting, yeah.
And you also have to have something that we call ijogo.
Sure.
So when it comes to ijogo, it's making sure with the visibility amapoisa, it's around to
Yeah.
secure and make sure with when anything happens, because you never know.
Yeah.
Ema-tournament kuba mnandi kakhulu, abantu
Sure.
they enjoy themselves,
Yeah.
abanye it gets too personal for them.
Sure.
So those are the other challenges. But one of the biggest
Yeah.
is sponsorship,
Sure.
because when it comes to a tournament, people now want to have a price, a peso
Yeah,
that
sure.
will attract our teams.
Yeah.
Those prices, it's hard to get unless you have maybe a person who wants to inject.
Yeah.
And you have to also understand, when a sponsor or even the department
Yeah.
wants to assist, they only assist with equipment.
Yeah.
Nobody
Not
wants to
in
come
financial
yeah,
thing.
financial
500
assistance.
fund,
No,
yeah.
they don't do that.
Sure.
So those are the things that you need to be open up to.
Yeah.
And even the community sometimes they can be a little bit hard.
Yeah.
Hard
So-
and not receptive until they see what you're doing.
Oh, yeah,
Then
yeah.
they open
Yeah,
themselves up.
yeah. No, I can imagine who's behind the scenes just to put together the team.
Yeah.
Now, Ebukwini, what do you enjoy about Ebola? That's Ebukwini. That's one. Two, in the times that you're involved in football, two particular tournaments that you're involved on, who are the players that you look back and say, I saw this boy when he was 16, now he's up there, beat ABC, beat Clear Africa, beat UPSL.
What I enjoy is the rawness.
Yeah.
Because that is one of the things that motivates that young boy
Sure.
sitting ngaphandle ukuthi nami ngifuna ukudlala, ingakho umntwana omncane azibiza oSikhwama or umntwana omncane azibiza oBiza. It's
Sure.
because of what they see,
See,
the
yeah.
rawness
Sure.
is. And then obviously kasi flavor.
Yeah, sure.
The magic.
Sure.
And you ask yourself, ukuthi bapractice nini? Ukuthi
Yeah,
kanjani?
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
That is that. And yeah.
The players that you've seen grow from the tournaments?
Mushishi,
Yeah.
in one.
Yeah, sure.
And the privilege and honor would be Happy Mashiach.
Yeah, because now and then I'll see you go see hence I'm asking the
No,
question.
because I had the opportunity of
Sure.
having him in my team
Sure.
and coaching the boy. So
Sure.
having to see him do great and seeing him in big screens, playing with big names,
Sure.
playing against big names, it's quite an achievement. It's a big thing.
Sure. Talking about Kasi flavor, you mentioned Kasi flavor there. And then, that's what makes us, if I can put it in that way, us as South Africans. What's your general feeling when I'm occasioning how you want to two, maybe if you can give me three of the best, most skillful players you've seen now that you've been involved in Kasi football.
Sure.
I know that's a tough one, but
Yo, it's a tough
okay,
one.
oh, we can just mention the ones that we've seen, like, yeah, I wanted this one. It's very skillful.
My general feeling about it,
That's a flavor, yeah.
as long as our players, they know when to use it.
Sure.
And Ekasi, when we talk of the tournament, we know it's just for enjoyment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that one is one thing that we don't want to go home without seeing.
Yeah.
So a tournament if Samba Snebonanga,
Yeah.
their team maybe against Saibuyisa
Sure. Because yeah, because you get a to foot, yeah.
Exactly.
Sure.
So, but when it comes to Ikasi flavor professionally, as long
Yeah.
as you do it with e-peoples and
Yeah.
you do it, we are pumping.
Yeah, yeah.
And it benefit the team,
Sure.
benefit that now and then there's nothing wrong
But
with
he
it.
went and went, yeah. Sure,
Exactly.
sure.
So, I'm a skillful players.
Now you've
Yo,
seen
yo.
Jeff Queen and like,
Karabu
this one.
Shakes.
Shakes, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Karabu Shakes, he is just a magician when it comes to his skill.
Yeah. Mine's an interesting.
Yeah, no, Lalela. And
Yeah.
there's a player that just does magic and slowly nakon level.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
So when it comes to skill, I think most of our players are who sent
Yeah.
Yeah,
General Mtutuze,
yes,
yeah.
you have those kind of players.
Sure.
I mean,
You've given me 3.
yeah, that,
2 more?
yo, manje. Ngiyibiza ku shake it up. Yazi ngifuna abantu banayikasi
Sure.
mara.
You're
But
trying to
shake
think,
it up.
yeah.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
shake it up naye yamfaka lapho.
Yeah.
Sure. There's just quite a lot.
Sure.
There's just quite a lot, eh?
Yeah.
But angisho yazi ukuthi ebholeni benza.
Yeah.
Asebenzisa lamagama asebholeni. So
Oh.
uthi uyalifuna nje
Nah.
nelakhe nje vele unyamala.
No, that's fair enough. But the players that you've mentioned, I mean, Nami would make it to my top 5. Yeah, bro? But now here's the thing. When you're putting together these tournaments, obviously you have the Mali that will try and come and be bossy. You have Abantaba, let me put it this way, Abantu Abanenkani that would want you to change our rules and whatnot. And you being a woman, and you've highlighted at the beginning of the conversation, say sometimes you're not taken seriously. Now you're in the forefront of running a sport that is dominated by men. How do you enforce the rules? How do you make sure that this goes under the Chizgal way?
I'd say fortunately there hasn't been one person that has that
Tried to-
power.
Oh, okay.
That
Yeah.
power.
Oh, yeah.
But if there could be,
Yeah.
I would gently allow them to come through
Sure.
and give them each his power as
Sure,
well.
sure.
Because when it comes to football, I ensure very, very much, we would say, a person that doesn't know much about football or even organizing a tournament
Yeah.
doesn't
Get
get
involved.
involved at all.
Sure.
Everybody has to have their own department that they
Yeah,
deal with.
yeah.
So when I ask a person that brings in money, tell us what is it that you want to see.
In return and whatever
Yes,
that is.
what
yeah.
is it? Then we will ensure that you get that. But when hlala laphayana,
Yeah. Don't get involved in
please
football matters.
throw
Yeah.
in the Madivas and
Yeah.
let us do the
Stay in
work.
your lane, yeah.
Yes, but in
Yeah.
most cases with the tournament, I don't enforce power or try to dictate.
Sure.
But I try to make people see reason.
Sure.
Why is it that we do things this way
Sure.
and how is it going to benefit the tournament as
Sure.
well? And I think I'm a firm person and I'm very assertive.
Sure.
So whatever that I do and whatever that I say, and I'm very passionate about football.
Yeah.
So my years are because of passion, and it's not to dictate or anything. And the results at the end of the day, they show.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's very powerful. 2 points, right? What would you like to see improving, particularly in women football, right? Because I mean, you the voice for the women in this particular platform in this particular moment. What would you like to see improving from grassroots moving up? 2, just generally, development of football in South Africa. What would you like to see happening?
With women's football, I would like to see, just like they do with men, where they have academies.
Sure.
And thankfully, we have the likes of JBW that does that.
Yeah, sure.
Ensuring
Shout out.
Gucci, yes, and they're starting from a very young age to develop.
Sure.
It should start with
Yeah.
women.
Yeah.
Singathathi intombazana sekamdala, but we have seen even Ekasi there. There is one girl that I saw at Alestradin. I was like, I saw myself. Like I really saw, and she's so young.
Yeah.
And into a young pattern offside, there's no women team.
Oh,
might
that
go.
you can peek and then
And, yeah,
Sure.
but again, the beauty of the rules of football is that she can play with boys up
Yeah,
to a
yeah,
certain age, and
Yeah.
that will harness her skills, that will harness her game so much.
Sure.
It's an advantage for her, though. It would be ideal for her to play with girls so that
Yeah.
she can have a feel of playing with girls as
Sure,
well.
sure.
Having to have a sponsor,
Sure.
a focused sponsor on women,
Mm.
ensuring ukuthi administering wise of women's football is proper.
Sure.
Like for manje, it's lockdown.
Yeah.
Men football is playing,
Yeah.
women not.
That's a very good.
Why?
Yeah, that's a very good point you highlighted. Yeah.
At the end of the day, we have to have a national team.
Sure.
If a game is about to come up now for Mantomazana, where will
Yeah.
they get the fitness from?
Yeah, preparing and all of that.
And they
yeah.
are
Because have not been
expected
playing. Yeah.
No.
Sure,
So
sure.
that is the unfairness that we also need to see improve.
Yeah.
See that they should be seen equally as their counterparts.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, have more women being vocal.
Yeah.
Women that are working lapha esafas advocating for women.
Yeah.
Ensuring that when it comes to women's football, they
Yeah.
are at the forefront,
Yeah, and
fighting
they're making
crying,
noise.
making
Yeah,
noise, yes.
sure,
And
sure.
let it not be our soccer legends like Ogamanje, if Upusha could talk about women's football and how unfair life is for them. The bazothi ahlezi akhuluma
Yeah.
loko.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the reality.
And that's the reality.
Sure.
She has been vocal and
Yeah.
she will still be
From
vocal
day one,
because she,
yeah.
yes, she has been there. She understands
Yeah.
ukuthi how hard it is.
Sure.
Because uvuka ulithanda ibhola.
Sure.
Ukuya ngawo ungavuka ngo-10 o'clock
Yeah.
and go to training at
Sure.
11
Yeah.
and then come back home and relax.
Yeah.
But you can't. You
Sure.
have to go and make sure that you work to get the money. Because if football for women, it doesn't give us money.
Yeah, and no, the sad part is, sorry to cut you off, the sad part is you can see the amount of money, sponsorship and all of that is pumped into men's football. And I would have loved, the same amount of money, even not the same amount, but at least some money put into women's league as well, because I mean, it can help in developing football.
And exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're crying for.
Sure.
And and to be quite honest, we can't say some. It
Yeah.
has to be the same.
Exactly.
It has to be
exactly,
the same.
Yeah. We were
because
talking millions now.
invest in women's football because great returns are seen. You can
Sure.
see there's plenty of potential. We have the likes of Rufino Jani right now and
Yeah.
AC Milan. We have your Tembisa
Yeah.
out there. We have your Nukumato now
Yeah.
playing out there.
Yeah.
Making it big.
Sure.
So you can see there is great potential
Yeah.
to ensure women's football is taken seriously. Women, South African women, go out there and represent the country.
Sure, sure.
So that is one thing that I would like to see. And with regards to grassroots
Yeah.
guys or even Ekasi, I would like to see our legends getting more involved as well. And them acting as mediators for these players. We can't have our legends like us, not doing anything for our
Sure.
young boys, coaching
Sure.
them only and not, I don't know, probably
Yeah.
they are doing that, talking
Yeah.
on behalf of the players, but let it be seen, let it be, ikube into enkulu.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
our players go out there and be given opportunities as they deserve, highly so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now you've said a mouthful. I almost jumped in up and said, Pusham Disha is the only national team player that has scored more than 100 goals. And nothing is being said about her.
Nothing.
She's not involved in any way in football structures, and it's very sad. Yabo?
But she actually was coaching a guy's team that was
Kaba.
playing in
Ngicabanga coach amanje ukuthi umuntu ukuthi women for women, right boy?
Exactly.
Definitely.
Exactly.
My last question to you would be, and I'm putting you on the spot, because we change. General amantombazane ayakghebhana amanilo and whatnot. So if the game gets physical, nenzani? Nenzani?
It gets to that point, but much as we when
Yeah.
it comes to nalapho
Neshaya. So-
yeah, it depends,
Yeah.
but we are very fair when it comes to playing. It depends what could have
Yeah.
caused the
Yeah.
fight. In most cases, I think with women, it's either
Yeah.
which it has happened to me.
So I know, because I can
It has
imagine
happened
that.
to me.
Yeah.
But I haven't been involved in one.
Yeah.
Okay, I could have,
Yeah.
but it didn't get physical.
Sure.
But I've seen some of my teammates getting into
Excuse me.
it. Yeah.
Change room, mhlambe if ubani uyasiqeda lapha, does it get to the point ukuthi
No, it has,
doesn't
it
get-
has never.
Oh.
And luckily enough, even playing for Pali Super Falcons, currently I'm with Luso, with Mighty Lovers. It has never gotten to that point.
Sure.
The beauty is, Masise grounding song as a team,
Yeah.
we have that one thing that we want, and which is win.
Sure.
And the beauty is playing for Falcons Group. It was one of the teams that would say, even single leader 10-0.
Yeah.
But score a lay one, it becomes to us it was like a league.
Sure.
Those who win a 10-1, you know. So it's the passion that drives it. But masingena agent room, imimoya yehlile.
Yeah.
Those singakhuluma ukuthi banisize masiphuma agent room.
Oh, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Some cool music and whatnot.
No, it doesn't get to
Yeah.
that.
Just in closing, what is your message to someone who's watching who has this perception of saying, "Hey, ibhola lamadoda, abafazi should stay away from football." Ibhola lamadoda, abafazi abame bawupheka. You know, there's that stereotype. Yabo? So I want you to just khulume ngayo, even on the playing side as well as women fitting in the administrative side of football. What would be your closing remarks?
For a person who says that, I would say, gather abangani bakhe abasho the same thing. Bayenze squad base bazodlala against. Then we can talk about it after the game nje.
Sure.
Scoreline is so nje.
We'll do the talking.
Who has the last say? But
Sure.
I would like them to change their mentality, man.
Yeah.
Just like Ilona, gender roles.
Yeah.
We need to just move an equality.
Yeah, sure.
Because
Sure.
women can play much better than
Some of
some
them.
of them.
Yeah, sure.
Greatly
Sure.
so. So
Sure.
they need to change that perspective
Yeah.
and that mindset.
Sure.
And be open, because that is the only way you will learn. And the beauty about being open-minded and changing your mindset from being negative to being positive is that there will be a plant growing from your
Sure.
head, and you'll be seeing greater things instead. And that could even motivate your daughter in the
Sure,
house more.
sure.
Mntanakho ahamba ayodlala i-Real Madrid abuye
Yeah,
la kulethela ama-pounds nama-dollars
Sure.
nama-in. So change your mindset about that, because at the end of the day, it's a God-given talent.
Sure.
Nobody just wakes up and be passionate about something if it's not something that they came to
Yeah.
this world by
Yeah.
being.
Sure.
So yeah,
Sure.
they must just change it.
2021 for Tembisa. But Chizgal, Mampa, thank you very much for your time. I know you have stories for days, Babo.
Yeah, no.
But no, if the demand is too much, we can always have it part 2, part 3, and part whatever. But,
Yeah, questions, comments.
yeah. But thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for Borja and offload your own internet, Yabo. And yeah, I mean, I wish you nothing but all the best in all the projects that you do, Yabo. And so there you have it from Chizgal. Now she said the most important thing, anyone can play football irrespective of your gender. Yabon. So like I would always say, when I fag mask, sanitize, and before receive Ebola, I'm social distancing. So do subscribe to all our subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook and all other social media platforms. Let me come out Bishop Mungameli, Mungamelu Kasi Football, second.